The date sheet for CBSE Class 12 Examinations 2021 has just been announced. And the first paper is that of English. English will be held on 4th May 2021. Now the question before all the students would be how to score well in the English paper, how to score 90 and above or 95 and above marks in English. In order to address these questions that I am here before you with a video on the English paper, I am going to discuss the design of the paper, and I am also going to give you a few tips as to how to score well, how to get 90 and above or 95 and above marks in English. So let's look at the paper's design, and here the paper is. The paper has two parts, Part A and Part B. Part A has reading and literature, and where all the questions are MCQs and it carries 40 marks. Part B has writing and literature and the questions are subjective, and this also carries 40 marks. So the total marks are 80. We know out of 100 marks, 80 marks are for the pen and paper exams to be conducted by the board, and 20 marks are internal, in which the students have to appear, in the school, and their listening and speaking skills are tested, and the marks are provided by the school to the board. So we are not going to discuss those marks, the 20 marks here. We keep them aside, and we expect, if you are interested or if you aspire to score good marks, you would have scored good marks in the school exams, the internal exams. So coming to Part A. Part A has reading and literature, and all the questions are MCQ, and it carries 40 marks, and the breakup of reading, of course reading carries 20 and the breakup is 10 plus 10. Literature also carries 20 and the breakup is like 8 plus 4 plus 8. In reading, there are two passages. The first unseen passage carries 10 marks, and the passage may be a factual description, it may be a discursive passage or a literary passage. The factual description, of course, as you know, it may be a description of facts, and discursive one may be an argumentative piece. A literary one may be an extract from a poem or a story or an essay. And there will be 10 MCQs. The full form of MCQs, as you should be aware, are multiple choice questions. So you have to attempt 10 out of 11 multiple choice questions. And the same is the case with the next unseen passage, that is in reading. That also carries 10 marks. The only difference is that this will have a factual description with data or charts or reports. And the questions, but the questions would be the same. 10 out of 11 MCQs you have to attempt. So this is about reading, and which carries 20 marks and all MCQs. Now next is that of literature. Literature also will have, in Part A, the literature questions also will be all MCQs and they will carry 20 marks. The breakup is 8 plus 4 plus 8. MCQs from two prose extracts from Flamingo and Vistas, and they carry 8 marks. And again MCQs would be from one extract from poetry carrying 4 marks, and 8 MCQs from Flamingo and Vistas carrying 8 marks. And the last one is different in the sense that they are not based on extracts. The first two are the 8 and 4 marks. The first two are based on extracts. So that is these are the details. These are the brief of literature. The details are here. The 8 mark questions will be From the extracts from Flamingo and Vistas both, there will be 2 prose extracts from both these books that you have to attempt, and each extract will have 4 MCQs, that means total 8 MCQs, and each will carry 1 mark. Of course, there will be 3 options, 3 extracts given, you have to attempt any 2. In the next part of literature, you will have 1 poetry extract and 4 MCQs from that extract, each carrying 1 mark. 2 options of extracts will be given, you have to attempt 1. Total marks are 4, as you can see. The next part of literature in part A has 8 marks and all 8 MCQs, each carrying 1. And the questions here would be from Flamingo and Vistas, and there will be 10 options, you have to attempt 8 out of 10. This part is different from the previous 2 only in the sense that they are not based on extracts. They would be directly from the prose pieces there in the books, both the books. Now part A is over. Part A we have discussed. The only thing I would like to say about part A is that part A has 2 subparts, literature and reading, and each carrying 20 marks, and all are MCQs, and it is easier to score in the MCQs because they are not subjective. The choices are all given. You only have to pick up the choices. You don't have to write a sentence, write anything. Only pick up the choices. So if you are prepared well, you can do that. You can score 40 out of 40 very easily. Now part B. Part B has writing and literature, as you can see, and you can see that the questions are subjective. Writing carries 16 marks, 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 5. And literature 24, 10 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5. In writing, the first one is a short writing task that carries 3 marks. It may be a notice or an advertisement which has to be written in 50 words. And you will have 2 options. You have to attempt any one of the 2. And the mark distribution would be like format 1, content 1 and expression 1. The second one also is a short writing task which carries 3 marks. And this writing task will have either a formal or informal invitations or their replies, and it has to be accomplished in 50 words. You have to attempt 1 out of the 2, and again the mark distribution would be like this. It will be similar, format 1, content 1 and expression 1. The third writing task is a longer one. It carries 5 marks, and it will be a letter to the editor or an application for a job, and it has to be written in 120 to 150 words. There will be 2 options. You have to attempt 1 out of the 2, and you will be given the input in the form of verbal or visual input. The distribution of marks would be format 1, again the same like the shorter ones, but content will have 2 and expression 2. So this is about the third writing task, the first longer one, and the fourth writing task again is a long writing task, and this carries 5 marks, and it may be an article or a report which has to be finished in 120 or 150 words. You have to attempt 1 out of the 2 here also, and you will be provided the verbal and visual input, and the mark distribution is the same, 1, 2, 2. Now that's about writing of 16 marks. Now literature. Literature will have the first one as short answer type questions, and the total marks are 10, and the questions should be from prose and poetry from Flamingo. There will be 6 options of the questions. You have to attempt any 5, and each question has to be answered in 30 or 40 words. The next also is a short answer type, and it total marks are 4, but the questions should be from the other book, that is Vistas, and you have to attempt any 2 out of the 3. So that means each question here will carry 2 marks, and each of them will have to be answered in 30 or 40 words. The third in part B, literature, is a long answer type question which carries 5 marks, and they will be from prose or poetry from Flamingo. 1 out of 2 has to be attempted, and it has to be answered in 120 to 150 words. And the last, the fourth in literature and the last, also carries 5 marks, but this is from Vistas. 1 out of the 2 has to be attempted, and it has to be answered in 120 to 150 words. So that's all about the design of the paper. Now, as far as securing marks is concerned, I have already told you that part A, which has all MCQs, is easier to score, and it is easier to score all 40 marks in that. In part B, which is subjective, it is slightly challenging. The shorter the question, the easier to score the marks. It is easier to score the marks, the full marks. In the longer questions, it is challenging, but I would say that even in the longer ones, nowadays it is not rare to get full marks if you have done enough practice of all the types of writing, like shorter ones or the longer ones, advertisements or applications, or whatever writing task, a letter or article, etc. Or even literature, you have attempted or you have done the practice of the chapters or the lessons, the prose pieces or poetry. If you have done enough practice, then you will not have problems in attempting new ones also, and you can have good flow. You can answer the questions in a shorter duration, and you will have enough time to even revise. So I think with the design that you have in mind and the preparations you can do with the design in the mind, enough preparations, I am sure you are going to get good marks. You can get even above 90, above 95 marks in English. If you have any comments about anything beyond this, if you have any more suggestions, any more requests, you can write in the comment box. Thank you so much for listening to me, for watching the video, and looking forward to your observations and comments. Thank you.